Hello, hello, hello. I looked like so mean when I looked into the camera. How are you guys doing tonight? Or this morning, or today, whenever you're watching this. I'm leaving the Thornton's gas station. I just got a bottle of water. And actually, something that I have been looking to review, they have there, which is Smart Water, which I love, but they have different flavors of it. They have cucumber mint, and they have, they had watermelon, I think is the other one. So I'm gonna come there tomorrow. I can't speak, I just woke up. I'm gonna come to the Thornton's tomorrow and review that. It's 55 degrees outside and the heat is hot in here. So anyway, what's going on? What's shaking? I have had a good day today, but I have had a highly productive day for a Sunday. I cannot find this lip balm I'm looking for. I have this one in here, but I'm looking for the red one. I've had a highly productive day, but I wanted to just kind of relax and stuff, and I didn't get to do a lot of that, but that's okay. I got a lot of stuff done today. Where is this stupid lip balm? I'm gonna actually use this Laneige. It's kind of springy summer outside, so I'm gonna use the Laneige pear. I am on my way to go meet my good Judy Valerie at the casino. So I call my friend Valerie, I call my friend Valerie Vallerini, and I was telling her that it cracked me up because somebody on my vlog's name is Kimberlini. And so I said I was gonna start calling her Vallerini Kimberlini because I thought that was so cute. So anyway, my hat looks so huge right now because look at my hair underneath here. I have it. There's a lot of Darlene Jolene Jazz. Okay, she thought she was unique. She wasn't. There's a lot of her going on tonight. If I tighten my hat to 3 things tonight, because of my messy hair, or because of my fat head, one or the other, the hat's too tight. It feels too tight on my head. If I put it on 4, it's too loose. It's like there's not one thing on here that's right. So however long it takes me to get up there is how long my vlog is gonna be tonight. And I just stopped at the gas station to get this water. Hi. Oh, my day, you ask? How was my day? My day was good. I had so much stuff happening today. Okay, so, I had so much stuff happening. I had so many things that happened. Well, no. I just had a busy day. I got up today, and we went to brunch. Alex was supposed to go to his friend's brunch today, or her birthday brunch, but he didn't end up going to do that because he woke up and he didn't feel very well. So he was like, I'm just gonna stay home and sleep, and then we'll see if I feel better to go to brunch later. So I was like, okay, so he didn't end up going. And then when we woke up later, he was feeling better, so we went to brunch at Cafe Patachu like we often do. I did not get my omelet today. I got the croissant French toast. I was so excited about it. It was delicious. And I got a side of crunchy potatoes and a glass of orange juice and coffee, and it was delicious. And we got there, and it was only us and one other table because we got there kind of late. And then like another couple came after we did. So it was just 3 tables while we were there. And yeah, we had a good brunch. And then after that, I took him home, and then I was talking to Mel. I had to run like 2 errands really quick, and so I was talking to Mel because we had our book club today. And so we decided on our book club name. So our book club name is, are you ready for it? After much deliberation of months and months and months, our book club name is the True Crime Book Club. But all in lowercase letters, and she put a period at the end of it. I'm not really sure why we put a period at the end of it, but she told me that when we were in the book club, so I was kind of on the spot. But I think it's kind of funny that she actually put a period at the end of it. At first I was kind of like, I don't know what I think, and now I think it's kind of funny. I like it. So, it's the True Crime Book Club in all lowercase. We kind of thought too, like, she brought this up and she was like, you know, if we ever want to make like t-shirts or whatever, we can do that. So that is the name of our book club. And yeah, and we had a great book club today. It was really fun. It was kind of just like people getting to know each other and talking, and it was fun. We had a good book club today. We went like over an hour. And then I honestly was not going to make videos today because I was like, I just want to relax and spend the day with Alex and whatever. But he was half asleep watching shows on his computer in the bed. And so I was like, you know, my goal for February had been to make videos on all of my channels every single day. And I didn't do that. But I did start off in February making videos on all of my channels, and I did it for a couple days, and it kind of got my momentum going, you know, kind of got me like really motivated. And I'm like, okay, I need to be motivated and be inspired. And so I was like, okay, I can at least make a drama video. Oh, I know what happened. I had filmed a I had totally forgotten about this. I didn't even know. I was going through my Peterisms videos yesterday when I was posting my video. It was either yesterday or the day before. And I noticed that I had a video on there that had no views. And I was like, what is this? And so like I pulled it up and I looked, and it was my video from last Sunday that I had filmed, but I had never posted. Like, it was ready to go, and I had never posted it. I had completely forgotten to post it. So I posted that, and while we were at brunch, I uploaded my vlog, and then I filmed the drama video right after the live stream, and then I went in and I did I can't remember what I called it, books I read in February or something. All the books I read in February or something like that for my BookTube channel, and I basically did my BookTube wrap up for February. 9 books. I have read 18 books for the year 2020, and I'm currently almost like a third of the way through my 19th book, which I'll probably finish tonight or tomorrow, which is Butcher Baker. It's our True Crime Book Club, but I'll talk about that in a second. And then I filmed that, so I was getting those videos up, and then I ran to Dunkin' Donuts because I wanted to do this review of the matcha green, the matcha latte. And so I went there and I did that, and I also tried the protein muffin, which both of those were really good. I was really impressed. I would probably get the matcha latte again. I got it iced. I wanted it frozen, but their like ice cream machine or whatever was down. So I got it just iced, and it was really, really good. I didn't think it would be, but it was really good. So yeah, I got all of those videos up. So I got a video up on every single one of my channels today. I was so proud of myself. I was so happy. I was like, okay, I started March on a good note. It's so clear out today. It's like, I mean, it's cloudy outside, but like, it's so clear. And it's not like my windshield necessarily, because my windshield's kind of dirty a little bit. But it's like, it just feels clear outside. It's like, it feels good. It's early too, did I tell you that? It's 11:51. So anyway, it was beautiful outside. The weather was nice today. It was like in the upper 50s all day. Excuse me. It was warm. And then I also drove around and listened to a little bit of Butcher Baker. And then, after I did my review video, I called Alex, and because we were going to watch RuPaul's Drag Race, because we hadn't watched it yet. It started on Friday night. We hadn't recorded, but we hadn't started watching it yet. And I was like, do you want me to bring you home anything for dinner? Because sometimes, like on Sundays, he'll eat like something. I don't always, but he does, and I was kind of hungry, and so I was like, do you want something? And he was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, what are you going to get? And I was like, well, I could do like Taco Bell, which I wasn't really feeling, but I thought he would want it. And I was like, I could do Taco Bell, or because he usually gets Taco Bell on Sunday nights. I said, or I could do like Noodles and Company, and he was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling Taco Bell, so I don't need anything. And I was like, well, then I'll go to Noodles and Company, just tell me what you want, babe. So he wanted steak stroganoff. That's like his favorite thing there. So I got him the steak stroganoff, and then I got the fettuccine, but I didn't get any chicken in it. And then I got us each a cookie. And then we watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and then he was like, I'm going to bed. I go so early. Oh, his friend that we were in Dallas for her wedding, she's visiting for like 2 days. So, or she's here for 2 days. So he's going to have breakfast with her at like 8 in the morning. So he was like, yeah, I have to go to bed for this breakfast in the morning. And I said, okay. Before he goes to work, he's going to have breakfast with her. So he went to bed at like 10. And I actually set my alarm. I laid down with him, and I set my alarm for like 11:10, and I actually woke up before that. I was having some crazy dream. I don't remember anything about it. It wasn't a nightmare, but it was just a crazy dream. And I slept on my arm like this, like, do you ever on my side? And I woke up and I couldn't feel my arm at all. It was weird. So anyway, yeah, that was my day. It was great. Butcher Baker. I don't know how many of you are part of the True Crime Book Club, but you should all be, because it's fantastic, and we have so much fun over there. And we almost are at 2,200 members. Butcher Baker is interesting. I have to say that when Mel picked this book, I was not super excited. It's about Robert Hansen, who in the late 70s and early 80s, he was a serial killer in Alaska. The reason that it's called Butcher Baker is because he was a baker. He had a bakery, and he was killing prostitutes in Alaska. They said that, like, at the beginning of the book, they said he killed anywhere from like 18 to 27, which is a lot. It's a lot of people. The book is really, really good. Like, it's better than I thought it would be. The thing that's interesting is, so we were talking about this in the True Crime Book Club today, that, you know, like, you know, the way that you tell true crime has evolved since the book was written in 91, even though there's the foreword was changed in 2016. But the way that true crime has been told is different, has evolved over time. So now there's a lot of consideration for the victims, as there should be, and their families and things like that. Whereas in 1991, there really wasn't. And a lot of the true crime that was written back then, if you remember, was kind of like at the bottom of, like, I was saying this in my True Crime Book Club, and then I said this in my BookTube video today too, was that, like, if you remember going to the grocery store, like in the early 90s or whatever, it would be like, the true crime would be, if you were looking at the book section at the grocery store, it would be the very last row, and it would be like the $3 books that nobody paid much attention to, right? I always had, like, the cover was always kind of these very attention-grabbing photographs, and it would be called something like, you know, Too Little, Too Late, or something like that. You know, I just made that up. But anyway. So, I mean, you have to remember that. And in the context of that being what true crime was in 91, it's actually very well done. And when I say that it's good, what I mean by that is that it's fast-paced. I think the story is interesting to listen to. I thought I would be bored. I thought it would be, because it's all taken from police records and things like that. The one thing, though, that's interesting is, this has been a criticism of true crime books in the book club. Like, Mel originally pointed this out to me, and I didn't really think much about this, is whenever you're reading true crime and the writer takes like fictional liberty with conversations that occurred, like as if they don't have the recorded conversation, but they like fictionalize it to some degree. And he does that in the book, and he says at the beginning of the book that he does that because he doesn't have the recorded conversations and stuff. So I don't know how I feel about that sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, these are conversations that occur between police officers, so he kind of just takes it from notes and things like that. So it's not like he doesn't have those conversations. But then you read a book like American Predator, where they actually have each conversation, and there's no dramatization whatsoever. So I think it is important to note that. You know, it's like when you start reading a lot of true crime, and you've read like the canon books within the genre of true crime, and all that kind of stuff, there is a specific way to look at it, that like, it's not like I'm highly educated on the analyzation of true crime. It's just, you kind of catch on after a while in how you look at these cases and whatever. And it's interesting because, like, as the book club kind of evolves and we start reading different things, it's like you kind of catch on to how things are done and whatnot. Like, you know, in Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, which was basically the book that started the genre. It was actually like the very first, like, it started this whole kind of like non-fiction documentary genre. And it's very cold towards the family. Like, there's just, even to the town and the townspeople, it's very cold. In fact, it almost, I wouldn't say glamorizes the killers, but there's just a lot of attention paid to the killers and very little paid to the family, you know? And I think that a lot of true crime books of yesteryear were kind of like that, whereas I think today it's more about the victim, or it's more about the entire scene and understanding the scene. And, you know, honestly, I really think, and maybe this is why I was so attracted to I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer, why that book really stood out to me is because I think it's so different. I think it was the book that really set the precedent to some degree, and really started changing things. And interestingly enough, you know, when you look at that book, well, I was going to say it was actually one of the first books that was written by a woman in the true crime field, but that's not true, because one of the very first true crime books I ever read was, now I'm going to be talking about books in there, so if you don't like me talking about books, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I know I said I wasn't going to do a lot of that, but I am going to right now because I want to talk about a true crime book in a second. Well, I just decided that I was going to, but just, it's kind of a story of my life, too. One of the very first books I ever read that was true crime that got me interested in, I mean, I've always had an interest in, like, being a detective, or, like, there was a period in my life that I really wanted to be, like, a detective, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I was very intrigued with that world, and I read Agatha Christie novels when I was growing up, you know, and a lot of mystery books and things like that. Even, like, when I was younger, like Nate the Great, I read those little books, you know? So I've always been interested in, like, mystery and true crime as I got older. But I loved reading those magazines, too, like, when I was younger. Like, I remember, like, my grandma reading those magazines, and then I would get them at the grocery store and stuff. We don't really have those anymore, those true crime magazines. Which is so funny, because, you know, I found out that my grandfather was on the cover of, like, True Detective magazine for solving one of the very first murder cases that ever occurred in Allen County, which is Fort Wayne, where my dad is from. He solved the case of a woman who, it was either a husband that killed his wife or vice versa, anyway. I think it was he killed his wife, and they found her arm in a lake floating or something. And the picture is like my grandfather pulling the arm out of the lake. Because my grandfather was a homicide detective. So, and it's interesting too, like, just hearing my dad, like, who grew up with a homicide detective, you know, as a father, tell these stories of what that life was like, and, you know, that my grandfather would be, like, out at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning, like, he would get called out, you know, like, on just different things that had happened. So, I've always been intrigued with it. But I think the real turning point to where I, like, really got interested in watching the documentaries and watching the shows and whatever was that my ex's old roommates, those two girls that I went to go visit, two girls, I mean, one's like 55 and the other one's my age. Okay, so they're not girls, two women that I'm very close with. But I met them with my ex because he used to live with them. And so they became very good friends of mine. And they had read a book. We were down there one weekend. And the one, my one friend, she reads a lot. And she had read this book from the grocery store just like those true crime books, called Cruel Sacrifice, and it was by Aphrodite Jones. And I believe that Aphrodite Jones used to be an FBI agent, and she's written quite a few true crime books. But anyway, the book was called Cruel Sacrifice, and it was about a case that took place in Indiana, in Madison, Indiana. And Madison, Indiana is where they have, like, the sailboat regattas and stuff like that. And I've never been to, have I ever been to Madison? I mean, I may have driven through Madison, but I don't remember being there. I don't know. Or, like, by it on the interstate or something. But the other claim to fame of Madison is if you watched that show, Girls Incarcerated, on Netflix, that was, like, one of the girls' schools was in Madison, that they filmed that show there. That place closed down. It doesn't exist anymore. But that was in Madison. So, that's another claim to fame of Madison, because it was a big, like, girls' school at one point. But, there was also, I think, a women's prison there. But anyway, the story about Shanda Shear is that Shanda Shear was, I think, 12 or 14. I think she was 12. And she was dating this girl that was, like, 16. And I've watched, like, the Dr. Phil's about this. I've watched, like, some documentary movie about this where they reenacted things. So there were 4 girls in this car. And, okay, this one girl, I can't remember her name. It was like Blevins or something like that. Belinda something. She was dating this girl, and then this girl started dating Shanda. And so she was like, I want to teach Shanda a lesson. Okay, now Shanda Shear is 12 years old when this is happening, okay? This is like in 1990. This was the year I graduated from high school. So, like, let me just tell you, I really related to this, okay? Because these girls were my age when it happened. Close to my age. So, she wanted to teach the Shanda girl lesson. So, one of her other friends was like, yeah, let's go teach her a lesson, right? And so, it was like the 2 of them, and then there was 2 other girls that were in the back seat. So they call up Shanda, who's 12 or 14, I can't remember, and they're like, do you want to hang out? She's like, yeah, sure, let's go hang out. Like, she has no clue, right? So they go pick her up. This case was so brutal. And they go pick her up, and they drive her around and around, and they're scaring her, and they're telling her all this kind of stuff, and like, why are you dating my girlfriend? And she's scared, and she's riding, I think, in between the 2 girls in the back or whatever. But they pull out over to the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of this place called the Castle or something in Madison, and they beat the hell out of her. And then at some point, the documentary that I watched showed it. Like, I remembered when I read it that it all happened in this one place, but I think it happened one place, and then it happened, then they took her body somewhere else, whatever. But anyway, all I know is that they set her on fire. They raped her with a tire iron, okay? And then they lit her on fire with all of the, and Windex and all this. It was horrible. It was this horrible, horrible case. All the girls are out of prison now at this point. They all got out, and I think they're all out. Maybe the Belinda girl is still in there, but I don't believe so. I think they're all out of prison at this point. But I remember, so my friend was like, you have to read this book. And I remember taking that Aphrodite Jones book home. That was like a weekend that we had gone down to Seymour to stay. We would just sit around and drink coffee till like, it was at the end. Mel was saying to me today, she's like, I hope when you're out here that we're going to sit around late at night and have deep conversations about stuff. I said, oh yes, girl, that's what I do best. Please sit around, drink coffee, have deep conversations about stuff. That's what I love to do. Deep conversations about stuff that doesn't matter. But anyway, so that was like the first true crime. So I can remember that weekend. That was on like a Saturday night, and then that Sunday we got up because we were staying at the Hampton Inn or whatever. We used to go down there and stay on the weekends. We'd drive around, we'd talk to people and tell these stories. There was always like, you know, like whatever. In that area, there was always like, oh, did you ever hear about Screaming Bridge? And then we'd have to, I mean, I was like 30 at the time, okay? Late 20s, early 30s. And we'd drive to some place called Screaming Bridge or whatever. all these different hollers where there was always supposed to be like something scary that had happened there and murders and stuff. We always were driving around doing that kind of stuff. Did you ever do that back in the day? Oh God, it was so much fun. But anyway, I know it sounds horrible, but it really was fun. I don't even know that anything really happened there, but we'd scare ourselves half to death. And I mean, any county in southern Indiana, we probably drove through and tried to see what had happened there at one point or another, because we would read about ghost stories. We would Google ghost stories online and stuff, then we'd go visit these places where these, like, things had happened. But anyway, so that was like a Saturday, and then that Sunday, I remember I went home, and I got that Aphrodite Jones book out, and I can remember I just sat down there and maybe that was about a pack and a half cigarette book. I sat down there, and I mean, I read that book cover to cover. I just sat there and I read that book. I loved it. And I thought it was so good. I just couldn't put it down. I remember calling my friend, and I was like, oh my God, this poor girl. And we got talking about it. And then that was just something we talked about all the time, you know? And then I passed that book on to some other people. But, you know, true crime back then wasn't something that people, like, talked a lot about. There weren't podcasts all over the place. There weren't podcasts, period. There was no podcasts. There weren't podcasts that people were listening to all the time about true crime. It wasn't, like, on TV the way that it is now. I mean, if it was like a Dateline or, 48 Hours or, Nancy Grace. Tanya and I used to watch Nancy Grace stuff about true crime all the time. All the time. But that was kind of how I got my interest in all of it, you know, and so it's funny how it's not funny, but it's interesting how the world has evolved over time, you know, in relation to true crime and what true crime is today and things like that, and people's fascination with it and the importance of, you know, paying homage to the victim and stuff like that. And I think, like, it's hard because when you take it all in, there's an aspect of just being interested in, like, the craziness of the case, so to speak, of what people call, like, murderinos, who are people that, like, you know, like, my favorite murder, I think they call them murderinos or whatever. Murderinos are people that are just, like, obsessed with, like, murder cases and stuff like that. I love to read that stuff. I do. It's very interesting to me. I love to read it when it's fictional as well, but the true crime stuff is more interesting to me. But I no longer can just, like, look at something and not think about the victims. I just can't. And in fact, you know, when I read these cases, I always go in and, like, look to see, like, you know, who the victims were and things like that, if it doesn't talk much about it in the book. But that was, like, the very first true crime book that I ever read that I was, like, super interested in. I can remember sitting on their couch. Oh my God. So it's so funny because, you know, this summer I went down there for Scotty's funeral, and they have a new house. Their house is gorgeous. It's like gray and white clapboard, like wooden floors, and everything is gray and white in their house, and it's gorgeous. And they have these little succulent plants everywhere, and their dogs are adorable and stuff. You know, but back then, that's when we were all struggling. And they had this little house and this Roseanne couch with this Afghan over the back of it. And we just sit around there in that living room and tell stories, and, you know, and we'd go get fountain pops and candy, and we'd just sit there for hours, and it'd just be so hot outside. It'd be like, you know, the hot days of August in Indiana, and we'd be sitting some, you know, like in their backyard, they had this picnic table. We'd sit out there on the picnic table and just talk and tell stories. And they didn't smoke. Neither one of them smoked. My ex and I, at the time, we smoked. And so smoked cigarettes. So we would sit outside, and we'd go over to people's houses, and I feel like anywhere that we went, like, we would run into people that they knew. There was something that was real appealing to me about that, you know, because, like, and my mom was like, at the time, it was interesting because people in my life here didn't really understand my attraction to, like, going to this small town where I didn't know anybody, you know? And he and I had actually at one point talked about going down there and buying a duplex and renting out one half to pay for the other. That was going to be what we did. And I can remember my mom said, she was like, well, maybe I'll come down there and I'll, you know, live on the other half of the duplex. I look back on that and I think, was I crazy? I mean, I can't believe that I ever even entertained that idea. But I thought it'd be kind of fun, all of us living down there, you know? And I was like, well, what would you do down there, Mom? And she was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I would waitress or get a job. She used to always talk about how I have 2 master's degrees and all this kind of stuff. And she said, I don't know, I'd be a host at Walmart or whatever. And I'm like, you're always telling people how you have all these master's degrees and stuff, you know? And you don't want a job like that, although my mom works so many retail jobs. And she's like, I wouldn't even care, just be down there with you guys having fun, going to get coffee. I'd make my own friends. I'd, you know, go to meetings down there and, you know, she wanted to get in a book club at some library. She said, I'd work at the library or something. She said, I'd have fun down there. But my mom was really the only person that got it. Like, my friends would be like, I don't understand why you want to go to that small town on weekends and stuff. But it was just so, like, I didn't grow up that way. I didn't grow up, you know, like, he hated it. Now, he hated it. When he moved up to Indianapolis, like, we dated a year before he moved up to Indianapolis almost exactly at a year of he and I dating. And he was scared when he left because he had, like, been there all of his life, you know? But then as soon as he was out, he had no desire to go back. He hated it. He was like, I don't want to be in a small town. I don't like to be from a small town. His best friend that he grew up with, besides Scotty, he moved out of there too at one point. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they, it's really windy outside today. I'm gonna go down here for just a little bit. But he was ready to get out of there. And it was often me that, like, wanted to go back down there for the weekends and stuff like that. But my mom understood it, and she would be like, I understand why you want to go down there and you want to, like, you know, walk around Walmart and see people that you know, and, you know, people be like, hey, how are you guys doing? It's good to see you, and all that kind of stuff. It was fun, you know? It was low-key. It was chill. I sometimes wonder, though, like, I don't know that it would have been like that for, like, the next 20 years had we stayed together. Like, we were going down there less and less towards the end, like, the last 2 or 3 years. You know, and then, like, Scott had this whole other world that I wasn't aware of. So I don't know, like, you know, I don't know. It's just, you know... It's weird, isn't it, when you wonder sometimes, like, how things would have, like, what would have happened. I don't know. But those were good times. We used to go down there, we'd shoot pool at this bar called O'Brien Street that was right off of 51, and there was another place that we would shoot pool. I can't remember what the other place was called. We almost got into a fight one night with this gal at the other place, though. And I remember, like, because, you know, like, when you're playing pool, you put quarters down for who's got the next game. And this woman was drunk. And she was a good pool player, too. And we didn't want to play against her. Well, she lost a match, and we were the next ones up. And so we started going up there, because it was our quarters, right? And you know, like, what I'm talking about. If you ever go to a bar, like, on a Saturday night in a small town, trust me, or it doesn't have to be a small town, I guess, but if you go up to a bar and they got pool tables, you'll see quarters lined up, okay? And that means who's got the next game kind of thing. You just know where your quarters are. So it was our turn to play. And my one friend, she went up, but the younger of the two, she went up there and she's sassy. She's got a mouth on her. Real cute, though. And my other friend would beat your ass. Don't think she wouldn't either. Not now, she wouldn't. But back then, you know, she'd look at somebody and be like, don't think I won't beat your ass. Oh, my God. We used to have so much fun. But anyway... So we're sitting there, and here's this gal, and she's probably 6'3" if she's a day, and she's just swaying in the wind, okay? She's so drunk. I think she was drinking straight out of, like, a beer pitcher. God, my nose is itching so bad from this stupid beard. So anyway, I see this train over here, but I don't even know if it's moving or if it's just like sitting stationary. It's kind of scary though that it's just like over there behind the trees. But anyway, so it's our turn and we go up, and so my friend goes to pick up the quarters to put them in the thing, you know, because that's how you get the balls. You put the quarters in there. And this chick goes, who am I playing next? Well, she didn't even win. She lost the game before, right? And the other people had just left the table and they gave it to us. And so my friend said, well, we're playing. You're done. Or something like that. She didn't even mince words. She's just like, you're done. You're not playing. It's our turn. Who am I playing next? And I'm standing over there. My boyfriend and I are standing over there like, we are about to get our asses shown to us, okay? And my friend steps up to her. She's like 6'5". My friend at this point, okay? She's probably 5'1". She said, I said, we're next. Nobody's on the table right now. It's our table now. Then her girlfriend steps up, who you don't mess with. And she said, you need to kindly step back, or something like that. She looked at both of them and she said, I said, who am I playing next? And my friend goes, I've had enough of this. She just pushes her to the side like that. Now, you think this would have started World War III, right? But this chick, she just falls straight over on her side. Her friends came over. It was like this big thing. My boyfriend goes, I think it's time for us to leave. I mean, it wasn't even like a timber moment or anything. And none of us drank. We were drinking Cokes up in the place, you know? None of us drank. We were always going to pool halls and we didn't drink anything. Oh my God. She was like, it's our table. She like moves her to the side. And the girl just goes to the side. Those are my the same friends with the pink tutu, pink tutu, pink tutu. If you've never heard the pink tutu story, go over on my main channel. I put it on there. It's hilarious. My friends were always wanting to put me in these situations that were crazy. And they thought it was funny to put me in situations I had never been in before, you know? We used to have so much fun down there. I need to call them and go down there for a weekend. Maybe when Alex, I got real sad. Was it last night or the night before? It just kind of occurred to me out of nowhere. I was like, I'm never going to have another PPMP Eaters Bachelor weekend. I got like real sad about it. I was like, I don't know why it hadn't occurred to me, you know, but like, that I didn't even know I'm going to start crying if I talk too much about it, but it didn't even occur to me that I realized that the last time, I didn't know that was the last time, you know? I know it's silly, but it means something, it meant something to me. So maybe when Alex goes out of town, like to Chicago for one of these music festivals that he goes to, instead of me having a bachelor weekend, and maybe I'll go down and have a girls' weekend or something with them. Okay, I'm gonna turn around. I haven't heard from Valerie. I wonder if she's there. She probably fell asleep and didn't wake up to remember. Text her and I said, are you there? If she doesn't text me between now and when I hit the city part, she ain't there. She's asleep. And then I probably will just turn around and listen to my audiobook. Well, I'll go there and I'll see if I see her car. And if I don't see her car there, then I'll just turn around and listen to my audiobook, because I could probably finish Butcher Baker tonight. Yeah, she's not texting. She usually texts me like right back when she's there. Girl, she watches my vlogs. You fell asleep. She does this sometimes. We'll make plans and then I'll get there and she's not anywhere there. Oh well. Another night will go. Another night. It's kind of a pretty, like, it doesn't seem like, obviously, spring. Isn't it so funny, though? Like, okay. Do you know, like, when it's, like, fall outside and it starts getting, like, cooler and cooler and cooler? And, you know, it's been, like, 70, 75 every day. And then it's, like, because it's 53 right now, and it feels really warm outside. But isn't it funny that it's, like, we have a 53 night, and we're like, ooh, it's so cold, right? This is called the Midwest. And then it's like, oh, it's so cold. Well, I guess this is anywhere, really. But we're like, oh, it's so cold outside, right? And then you, it gets colder and colder, and then we're like, oh my God, it's so cold. But then in the spring, when we have a day that's like 53, okay, which would have been cold to us in the fall. Oh, she's there. She's texted and said, yep. All right, Ballerini, Kimberlini, Ballerini. Kimberlini, you are now my favorite name on the vlog. No offense. No offense, Sean and Lisa and Deirdre. Never to forget Deirdre, who I sang a song. Oh, Deirdre, oh, Deirdre. I had a girl and Deirdre was her name. But yeah, and then in the spring it's really warm, and okay, we're all weirded out by that. Okay, pointless. Let me just tell you guys as I end this vlog tonight, because I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna end this here in the next couple minutes. But so if you don't know, what you don't know is a lot. Mariah, who is the moderator of it, she went to Reddit and she started a thread called the Good Judies. So I don't know if I've talked about this on here or not, but you can go over there and you can join Reddit, you can download Reddit, and then you can join. All you have to do is just like start an account, and then you can join any of the different threads you want. That's how I do the Beauty Guru chatter over there. But I actually have 2 Reddit threads. So she started a Reddit thread called the Good Judies, which is all just stuff about me, which is so nice. I mean, it's just kind of surreal, honestly. But then Dawson started a Reddit thread called Peter Review Stuff Suggestions. And you can go over there and you can suggest stuff, which somebody actually already started like a topic in my Good Judies thread about that as well. But Dawson was nice enough, so go over there and check out his thread as well, because I go over there to look for suggestions of things to review, because he posts stuff over there all the time. It's really, really helpful. But anyway, so the other day, I'm like trying to explain this to Alex, who doesn't really understand it. And he was like, you have a Reddit thread? What do you mean? And I was like, it just is so nice. I said, it's so nice. Like, I live in this world that is just kind of surreal to me. You know, that like, I make videos that, when I say I'm like socially awkward, I think people really don't believe it. Like, I don't think you guys really get it. Like, I'm super shy. Like, I'm really, really super shy. Like, it would take me a while. Like, I kind of, in all honesty, when I meet somebody in public, like, I do, like, if it's one-on-one, like, I do really well, actually. Like, they'll come up and they'll be like, I watch your videos. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, which channels do you watch? I'm like, I'm kind of like, I've gotten better with it. But, like, I'm still, like, just in public, period, I'm just an awkward person. So, and I'm very shy. So I'm underneath there, and I'm reading this thread, and in the thread, it's talked about, if I talked about this on here already, I apologize for repeating myself, but I don't think I have. It talked about, there was like this topic, and it said, where is everybody from that watches Peter? So I went in there, and I'm reading this thread, and people are having conversations with each other, and they're saying, oh, I'm from the UK, I'm from Canada, I'm from Croatia, I'm from North Carolina, I'm from California, I'm from Seattle, I'm from Florida, and, you know, somebody's like, I don't see anybody else from Florida. Oh, I think there's one other person from Florida. There's like, it was all over the place, and I thought, wow, you know, like, that is really, really cool. That not only were you the person that nobody wanted to claim as a friend when you were growing up because of how it would negatively affect them. And not only do you have people that watch your videos consistently, you know, and I know that there are people that don't like me that consistently watch my videos. Hey, how are you doing? I know, thank you for your dislike on the video. I appreciate it. Gives me engagement. But, you know, like, there's a lot of people that really like me too, you know, and that's a really powerful feeling. And I'd rather look at that. And then there's these people over there, a lot of you, that have signed on for this thread called Good Judy's, which is literally my catchphrase, which I did not start. It's a gay term from like the 50s or the 40s, right? It was all started because of Judy Garland. And it did not originate the name. But you know, like, the whole idea is my good friend. Like, that's what it means. And I have like over 500 people now in there that are talking to one another and having conversations about watching me. That's pretty special, you know? Like, that's a really special thing. And it's just really cool. I just love what I get to do, you know? And like, I was talking to Mel a little bit tonight about, you know, like, views on my different channel and stuff. It's like my Peterisms channel. That's like one of my least viewed channels, like it and my BookTube channel. That and my BookTube channel, like, I get maybe, like, to me, okay, first of all, you have to put this in perspective of when I started those channels, I didn't get anything, right? But now, they get 500 to 1,000 views a video. And it's kind of like, imagine forcing 1,000 people in a room to watch a video that you filmed about a book review, okay? I mean, it is kind of surreal when you think about it, you know? I know that there are booktubers that are getting 20, 50, 100,000 views a video. I'm fine with the fact that I get 500 to 1,000, you know? Or that I'm reading a meditation book and I'm sharing how I feel about something. It's just such a cool feeling. It's just such a really, it's really nice. I just don't even know, you know, what else to say. It's just really nice, and I just want to thank you for it. You know, I think there's this whole idea that people start YouTube because they want to get famous, or they want to get rich, or they want to be noticed, or they want validation, or they want acceptance. And don't get me wrong, okay? All of those would be real nice. They would. It's gonna stop. Hold on. Okay. Don't get me wrong. All of that would be really, really nice, you know? But I don't require it. I don't require, you know, the wealth of the world or the fandoms and all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of people that like me just because of some stuff I say on video. And I think that's really nice. It's really cool, you know? And I don't know, it just, for some reason, reading that thread and seeing that, like, everybody was from all of these different places that I will probably never go to, most of them, all over the world, was just kind of like this really cool moment. It was just a really cool moment for me. I don't know. I don't know if it makes any sense, you know? I think for all of us that are on YouTube, we just start off with one video hoping for one view, you know? And then one day to have all these people talking about where they all are all from, all over the place. It's crazy, you know? So, anyway, thank you. I appreciate it. I love getting to do this. You know, I love doing this, and it's just, it's the coolest thing in the whole world. It really is. I mean, I have such an amazing life. I love it. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna get off here now since I'm at Harrah's Hoosier Park. There's this woman inside. Oh my God. So Valerie and I met her daughter last time she was here because her daughter had dropped her off from work, or the last time we were here, because her daughter had dropped her off from work. And she's like, yeah, that's my mom. So her mom does the announcements over the thing. And she says, she does like all these announcements, like, don't forget to wish April, one of our own, a happy birthday. But then at the end she'll say, and everybody out there win. Win, everybody. Win, win, win. And Valerie and I love it. I love it so much. I always go, win, everybody. Win, win, win. I think Valerie thinks it's kind of crazy, but I don't really care. There's Valerie's car. Because I think I love it. I live for it. Win, everybody. Win, win, win. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here and hopefully win, everybody. Win, win, win. All right, I'm gonna get off here now. Oh, it's hot in here. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. Let's start our week off good. Let's start our week off with doing something, let's get a lot accomplished today, okay? Like, make your bed, start the day off with, well, I mean, by the time you see this, your day will have started already. But do something, accomplish one thing today. It doesn't have to be a big thing. And put something in motion that will make yourself proud 5 or 10 years when you look back on it. Anyway, do something fun today. Have a good day. Have a great day today, you know? And if you're watching this as you go to bed on Monday night, I hope your Tuesday is amazing. I hope you have sweet dreams. Yeah, I hope you have a really good week. I'm really excited about next week being in Phoenix and doing some Phoenix vlogs. I'm really, really excited about it. And so I hope you're having an amazing Monday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun and accomplish one thing today. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you. You are valuable. You are important. You matter. You are beautiful, you are handsome, you are funny, you are talented. Today is going to be an amazing day, and 2020 is going to be your year. Today you are going to accomplish all kinds of things. You're going to have a great day, you're going to laugh, you're going to smile. It's just going to be a really, really good day. And 2020, oh my God, so many great things are prepared for you in 2020. So many great things are going to happen to you in 2020. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to one person today, just at least one person, and let them know how much they mean to you, how much you care about them, and say, you know what, I just want to let you know I love you, I appreciate you, and thank you for being in my life. Thank you for teaching me this one thing, or just thank you for being present, you know, or hey, you know what, I just want you to know that you mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you being there. We don't do it enough, remember that. And also practice random acts of kindness. Don't tell anyone. That's called altruism. We just do it and we don't tell anybody, right? It makes us better human beings to practice random acts of kindness and not tell anybody. It gets us into the habit of just doing them without the need for pats on the back. Try it. It's hard sometimes, you know? And yeah, I think that's it. And I love you guys, and thank you for watching. If you made it this far, put a big blue heart in the comment section below. I love you. Make sure that you're still subscribed. People are telling me that they're not. They're getting unsubscribed to my channel unknowingly. So make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel. No, I didn't mean to do that with the one finger. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Win, everybody. Win, win, win. Love ya.